I'm a quantum leap kind of guy. Mainly because it's just boring to try to go for incremental improvement. I don't know if you're a big NASCAR fan. I admit that I'm not a big NASCAR fan. But once HDTV came out, yeah, it can be, there are moments where it can be pretty compelling in HD. Yesterday's Talladega race, I think the margin of victory was 0.02 of a second. The difference between first and second place. Well, we love those stories. We love those kind of stories. Because, that just gives us all this anecdotal evidence that, see, you just have to be a little bit better. And if you're just a little bit better, then it's all the difference between winning and losing. It's all the difference between succeeding and failing. Well, not necessarily. While it may be true in yesterday's race, it's not always true. I mean, sometimes a race is won by seconds. And sometimes they're close. Quantum leap, though, it's just way more cool, and it's way more fun than, well, we just want to try to be a little bit better. And it doesn't matter what the endeavor is. It doesn't matter if we're talking about education. It doesn't matter if we're talking about car racing. It doesn't matter if we're talking about business. It doesn't matter if we're talking about investing. Have you ever heard of Motley Fool? Just Google it. Motley Fool are a couple of guys that have a lot of fun with investing. Yeah, they've got columns that exist in Wall Street Journal and a variety of other places, and they write books and they give investment advice. And their annual return on investment is about 17%. The S&P 500 averages below 3%. 17%. Couple of fellows that start a little business called Motley Fool. Yeah, it's exploded in the last decade or so. 17%. S&P 500 around 3%. That's a big difference. But of course, Motley Fool, they just don't have, they have so many more resources. No. Well, they're able to do some statistical gathering that S&P 500, no. You know what one big component, according to the Motley Fool guys, one big component that they look for when they seek to invest in a company or recommend investing in a company? 17%, keep this in mind, 17% return on investment, 3% S&P 500. They look at a CEO and, do we like this CEO? Does this CEO have a sense of humor? Well, now, wait a minute. Are you kidding me? Hey, I'm just saying. By any definition, 3%, 17%, quantum leap difference. Quantum leap difference. But it's a whole different way of looking at things. Do we like this CEO? Do we like this leader? Is he likable? Is she likable? Do they have a sense of humor? I mean, are you kidding me? Can it possibly matter that much? It could. It could. Quantum leap, I can tell you this about quantum leap, and it's true in public education, it's true in the workplace. If leadership is just, let's just go for this incremental increase, good luck. Good luck in getting anybody's blood pumping over that. Good luck in getting what everybody calls buy-in on that. Let's be 0.02 of a second faster than the next guy. Let's do that. Let's work all week. So on Sunday, we can be 0.02 of a second faster. Now, you know that's not what happened. I mean, in the garages back in the Carolinas, wherever these guys have their operations, you know, they're doing everything they can. All the engineers and all the experts are doing everything they can to get an edge. To not be marginally better, but to be as much better as the competition as they possibly can. Well, okay, in education, who's the competitor? Well, if you say we don't have one, you've already lost your mind. You got a lot of competitors. You've got all the social stuff that kids are involved in. You've got all the sports that they're involved in. You've got all the activities they're involved in. You've got all the drama or whatever at home to contend with. Just a sea of distractions. Administrators, well, if the kids have those distractions, then guess what? Faculty does too. It's not like they're hermits that have no life at home, no issues at home. Why can't things be quantum leap better? Well, because somebody has to take aim. Somebody's got to take aim at making a quantum leap. The Motley Fool guys have got to decide, you know what's important? You know what we're kind of attracted to? A CEO that's likable and a CEO that's got a personality, a CEO that's got a sense of humor. We kind of like that. We can laugh and we can look at it and we can poke fun and we can be cerebral and we can think, oh, that's much too mundane and it's beneath us, you know. We're people with advanced degrees, don't you know? Folks, I'm talking about just people. I'm talking about people and what resonates with people. And I'm telling you that as leaders, it doesn't matter. Again, the endeavor can be NASCAR. It can be investment banking. And it can be a school campus. Kids and adults can get worked up over being head and shoulders better than where they've been, as opposed to let's be just a little bit better. Because a lot of people get fooled into thinking that, you know, if we just put forth a little bit more effort, if we just work a little bit harder, then we can go from these kind of scores to these kind of scores. And it's just a constant tail chasing contest. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work in any endeavor in life. I can tell you for flat out, it doesn't work in business. One big reason it doesn't work is nobody gets excited about it. Okay, who's up for this? Yeah, let's all jump in the boat and let's row harder so we can be that much better. I mean, that doesn't inspire anybody. The other notion that I've got, because I know it's true, is the false notion that a lot of people hold to, that in order to do quantum leap kind of achievement, we've just got to burn things to the ground. It's just so difficult. It's just so monumental. It's going to require this enormous paradigm shift, which is a phrase everyone has been in love with for the last 2 decades. I mean, how quantum leap is it for Motley Fool? We like that guy. That guy's kind of funny. He's got good business. I mean, I'm not saying that they choose that to the exclusion of the other measurements. No, they're looking at all the same measurements that everybody else is looking at. But in addition to that, they're looking at something that probably nobody else is looking at. Do we like the guy at the top? Is the guy at the top, is he kind of a funny guy? See, a guy's kind of got a sense of humor. Take everything that everybody else is doing, all this traditional stuff, and now we add just one kind of crazy, funky component that when you stop and think about it, makes complete sense. It makes total sense. You can put your money with the pompous, arrogant guy who's got absolutely no sense of humor whatsoever, and you could just set a cardboard figure up anytime he's in public, and there you have it. That's who he is. Or you can go with these guys and kind of do what they do, and you go from 3% return to 17%. Quantum leap. Is it as simple as that? Well, I don't know, but according to their own admission, yeah, they add that one little kind of a trick. I'm thinking and I'm wondering what you can do. I'm thinking and I'm wondering what you can do no matter what your role is in education. What one little thing might you be able to do that might result in a quantum leap? I'm a huge believer in what if. Most people that have operated in and around small business and kind of been guerrilla fighters in the business sector for any period of time are kind of wired like I'm wired. You know, we're just kind of street fighters, and you just kind of go through the jungle and you figure things out, and you're morphing, you're adapting, you're trying stuff, and you're trying other stuff. And if something doesn't work, then you try something else because, well, jobs are on the line. The business is on the line. You know, I mean, you got to try. You got to be innovative. Got to be creative. Got to think about things. But more importantly than that, you got to try things. I don't know how the Motley Fool guys stumbled on the fact that it works to their advantage when they seek out people who have a sense of humor. Well, let's qualify this. Who may have a sense of humor that at least they can appreciate. I mean, it's a very subjective thing, isn't it? Well, it works. It works. The challenge today is simply this. Think about taking a quantum leap. Think about what is there that you could change. A single thing, just one thing, that you could change, that would make all the difference in the world. And it might take you from here to here. I know it's much easier to it's easier for us to convince ourselves it's kind of slow sloping growth, but nobody's excited about that. You don't get excited about that. I don't get excited about that. Kids sure aren't going to get excited about that. But what if we went from here to here? How cool would that be? Well, it's way cool. It's way cool. My name is Randy Cantrell. The website is leaningtowardwisdom.com. Hey, please visit the website. Over on the right-hand column, you'll see a Facebook page. Bula Network. That's the company name, Bula Network, LLC. Bula Network, Leaning Toward Wisdom, a Facebook page. Just click that like button. Please. Thanks. See you next time.